I watched a kid fall apart over a piece of paper last year. Not even a big dramatic scene, it was actually quite the opposite. I handed back a test, a student saw their grade and shut down. Just watching their body language, their eyes went low, their shoulders kind of hunched over. They were just done for the day. And this was a good student. And that's the thing, it was a kid who cared. And that's why it hit so hard. For the rest of that class, they were gone. They were done. Not even misbehaving, just mentally not there. Like that one grade became the entire verdict for their life. And here's what I've learned watching this year after year. It's almost never really about the grade. The grade is just when the floor decides to give out. Or some people may say where the rug just feel like it's been pulled from under you. What they're actually feeling in that moment is, maybe I'm not as smart as I thought. And that's a lot to carry at 12. And nobody teaches you how to deal with it. And here's what I've come to believe after doing years of this work. The single most important skill that we are not teaching young people is how to fail without falling apart. Not how to avoid failure, because that won't happen. Failure will come. You may have a bad grade, you may miss a shot on the basketball team, soccer, you may strike out in baseball, or you may not make the dance team or the cheer team. You may be rejected. You may have hard times in friendships. That part is guaranteed. We can't get around failure. The skill is what happens next, the recovery, the getting back up. Whether a young person can take a hit and stay in the room, or whether one setback takes them into a spiral and they don't even want to try at all. Today, we're building that skill. And parents, I'm going to give you something concrete to do at home, because this one you can't lecture your way through. Let's get into it. So let's talk about what's actually happened inside that young person when they fail. Because if you understand the feeling, the tools make a lot more sense. At this age, from 11 to 15, your brain is doing something specific. It's learning the difference between I did a bad thing and I am the bad thing. Between I failed this test and I'm a failure. Most adults have learned to keep those two things separate. Young people often haven't yet. So a single failure doesn't feel like one event. It feels like their entire world has crushed them. And it feels like evidence, proof of something that's permanent about who they are. That's why the kid may put their hood on or put their head down. They're not being dramatic. They're protecting themselves from what feels like the whole world is able to see their proof. And here's where I'll bring in what I believe, because it matters to me. A crucial and liberating reality I hold on to is that your value as a person was never open to debate with from the beginning. If you're a person of faith, you believe that you were made in the image of God, and a bad grade does not touch that. It can't. And even if your faith is not a part of your home, the principle still holds for every child. What you did is not who you are. Those are two different sentences. Learning to keep them separate might be the most important emotional skill that they learn. So the feeling is real. It's not silly, but it's also not the truth. And the job for us and for them is to learn to feel the disappointment without believing the lie that it whispers. Okay, so what do you actually do with it? Feelings are real, but we don't just stop at naming it. Here's the sample framework that I teach. 3 steps. I call it feel it, name it, next it. Number 1, you feel it. You are allowed to be disappointed, genuinely. Skipping the feeling does not work. It just buries it. Give it a minute. A bad grade is allowed to sting. I know for myself that in grad school, I definitely felt it. Number 2, name it. This is the one that changes everything. Say the true sentence out loud. I did fail that test. Notice what the sentence is and what it isn't. It's not, I'm stupid, or I always mess up. It's specific about one thing that happened one time. Naming it accurately is how you stop one grade from becoming the entire verdict of your life. Number 3, next it. Ask one forward question. What is one thing I can do differently next time? Not 10 things, 1. Maybe it's I'll study 2 days before the test. Maybe it's I'll ask the teacher if they have tutorials or if they can help me understand a concept. One small doable next step, because the opposite of falling apart isn't being perfect. It's taking one step forward. Feel it, name it, next it. That's the whole thing. And it works for a failed test, a bad game, a fight with a friend. The setback may change, but the steps don't. All right, to my young people, if you ever looked at a grade, maybe the scoreboard, a group chat, and you felt that feeling of just being down, I need you to hear me really, really good. The feeling is real, but it's lying to you about how big it is. One bad moment is one bad moment. It's not a headline about who you are. The strongest people you'll meet is not the ones who never fail. Because like I said, everybody's been there and we will constantly go through failure. The strong ones are the ones who learn to fail, feel it, and then get back up again. And this is not a personality that you're born with. It's a muscle. And every time you mess up and keep going, you're gonna build that muscle. The next hard moment isn't proof that you're not good enough. It's just a rep. And to my lovely parents, here's the honest part. When your child fails, everything in you wants to do one or two things. One, fix it or minimize it. The here's what you should have done, or it's not a big deal, don't even worry about it. Both of those, with love, skip what they actually need. Because here's what you should have done, it teaches them the lesson before they felt the feeling. And it's not a big deal. It tells them that the feeling itself is wrong. Try this instead. Sit with them with it first. That's really disappointing. I'm sorry to hear that. Then stop. Let that land before anything else goes on. Then later, not in the heat of it, you can ask the forward question together. What's one thing that you do differently? You're not their fixer. You're the person who proves that failing doesn't make them feel less loved. That's the whole job, and you're more equipped than you think. So that one student that put their head down and put their hood on, I didn't say the perfect thing in the right moment. I want to be honest about that because there's no magic turnaround in certain situations like that. What I did was something a little quieter. A few days later, very low key, I pulled the student aside and I told them, hey, this is just one test. Okay? You're still one of the smartest kids in the class. What do you want to do in preparation for the next one? And I slowly watched their body language change. Not because of anything that I did, not because I fixed anything, because somebody separated those two sentences for them. What you did is not who you are. Somebody had to say it out loud so they didn't carry that lie alone. And that's what this is really about. Not raising kids who never fall, but raising kids who get back up and who know that when falling down never changes their worth. So here's this week's challenge, and it's for both of you. Sometime this week, I want you to talk about a failure on purpose before one even happens. Parents, share one of yours, a real one. A time you messed up, how you felt, and what you did next. Young people are studying you way more than you realize. And watching you survive failure teaches them more than any other lecture could. And here's a bonus challenge for you. When the next real setback shows up, and it will, I want you to try the 3 steps together. Feel it, name it, next it. Say the words out loud. The first time may be a little awkward, but maybe by the 3rd or 5th time, it'll become a reflex. And a kid with that reflex is a kid that doesn't fall apart. Taking care of the mind you've been given, learning to fail without falling apart, that's just as much of a health skill as brushing your teeth or getting sleep. It's health in its truest sense. And it's the kind of thing that changes the whole trajectory of your life. If this helped you, like and subscribe and maybe share it with someone else who may struggle with the same thing, and so that other parents and teens can see this too. And next week, we will be staying in the health pillar. We're gonna talk about taking care of your body and mind together. The daily habits that quietly build confidence over time. You won't wanna miss it. I'm Jalen Jack, this is Beyond the Bell, and I want you to go and fail at something small this week. I mean it. And please remember, what you did is not who you are. I'll see y'all next week.